Hey guys, this is John. Round 5 update from the Charlotte GM Norm Invitational. So, right about the middle of the tournament, I was on an even score going into this game, 2 out of 4. I had the white pieces against International Master Michael Brown. He also had an even score. We played one time before, also at one of these tournaments, I believe last year, game in which he won. So, looking to strike with the white pieces, a GM Norm would be tough with my score, but still wanted to try to play for a win with white. And I got a nice position out of the opening. That seems to have happened a lot lately. I think I've been pretty satisfied with the positions I've been getting in my games. Of course, like, you know, some bad positions too, or misplaying some positions like against Ringor. But for the most part, I'd say the last couple tournaments, I think the positions I've got out of the opening have been good. So no exception in this game. He made an interesting decision to take one of my knights early on with his fianchettoed bishop. He played this move, bishop takes f3, and then played d5, and we got into a Queen's Gambit declined sort of structure. And I was very pleased by that because it seemed to me like he was lacking counterplay. At one point I offered a queen trade, which he avoided, but in doing so I was able to generate a lot of pressure. My pieces came to ideal squares, and as we started hitting time pressure, mutual time pressure, I really felt like I was turning the screws. And I had him under my thumb. I was able to repeat the position a couple times. He had virtually no choice but to try to repeat himself, so obeying my repetition, if you will. But I think I got carried away. You know, this is one thing that's happened to me recently. The game that comes to mind is definitely round 7 of the Reykjavik Open against International Master Nisha Mahoda, where I overpressed. And I did the same thing in this game, I'm sorry to say. So yeah, I had this nice position, but I couldn't figure out the way to really break through. I had all this pressure coming down on his c6 pawn, and I decided to play b4. So after pawn takes b4, I could take with the knight and put further pressure on c6. But strategically, that's a risky decision, and Michael criticized that afterwards, and rightly so, because then I have a weak a3 pawn, which is rook can attack. So I gambled in time pressure, in mutual time pressure, because it seemed to me that the trend of the position was going in my favor. I had the momentum. I almost felt obligated to try to win that position based on my chess understanding. I was really liking my play, but it wasn't quite there. I needed to press a little bit more. But I got to learn in those situations that sometimes you got to pull back and be okay with you know, a draw if necessary, or maybe even further preparation. It's possible I could have tried to prepare the b4 move, maneuver a little bit more. I'm not sure exactly how. It was a very tense position. So kind of like the Mahoda game, I'm trying not to totally second guess myself, because in the moment it felt like the right thing to do. But I got to do some reflection on these types of positions. So what happened after that? So I played that b4 move. I had the weak a pawn. We traded knights, and after we traded knights, I had a bad feeling about the position. I was getting very low on time, so was he, but I had even less time. I played this move, rook a1, which was awful. I played that move just to play a move. I was down to my last few seconds, so I played it. I think I should have played a4 right away. Basically, I have this weak a pawn that I got to offload somehow, otherwise he's going to attack it. So that knight exchange and opening the a file, like, that turned around the position completely. He also has play on the king side with g5. So I was just on the defensive after that. I think I defended well over the next maybe 10 moves or so. But the worst part of this game, the one I'm most disappointed by, is the final position, because I managed to flag despite 30-second increment. Yes, that happens. People flag even when there's an increment. Some of you who play online, you're like, whoa, 30 seconds, like, how do you ever flag? And I agree, it's pretty inexcusable. It has happened to me before too. But the situation was I was a pawn down. I had queen, bishop, and 3 pawns against queen, knight, and 4 pawns. And practically speaking, I think it's very difficult to hold that position. I might have lost anyways, but again, kind of like that rook a1 move, I looked over at my clock. I had just a couple seconds left. I tried to play queen b3, bobbled my queen. Queen comes like flying out of my hand. Well, not flying, but I definitely bobbled it. It like ended up it ended up lateral on the board, and I did not execute the move queen b3 in time, and I flagged. Not even a chance to defend that position. And again, maybe I would have lost anyways, but that was the most disappointing part of the game. Like, overpressing is one thing. Okay, I took a risk, didn't work out. I felt like I was better and should try to win that position. Maybe that was a wrong decision, I'll have to look at it. But yeah, very disappointed in myself for flagging there and not even forcing him to show some good technique. So, very disappointing game. I think this one hurts as much or more than that round 7 of the Reykjavik Open game. And yeah, just the storyline was very similar, those two games. It's like nice position, pressure, 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 but the time management is catching up with me, and maybe losing my sense of objectivity when the time starts ticking down too. Those things definitely go hand in hand. So I lose that game. I'm still on 2 points, 2 out of 5, -1. Yeah, it's I can't make a GM norm at this point. Even if I won all my remaining games, I would still finish a half point off the norm. As I said earlier, it was unlikely it was going to happen anyways, but it would have been nice to play the last few rounds with a chance. But 4 games left. I'll try to do my best these last 4 games. 2 whites, 2 blacks. I'm playing International Master Casa Corley, who I'm also rooming with here at the tournament, so that's an interesting situation, playing a roommate. Yeah, upset with myself, guys, but hey, this is tournament chess. It's testing. It's testing emotionally. When you lose a game like this, you feel like, yeah, you feel like everything is going wrong for you, even though it is just one game. But losing in the same manner as the game against Nisha Mahoda is very, very painful. History repeats itself. But I'm still trying to keep things in perspective. I'm doing what I love. Chess is my lifelong passion, and you know, there's tons of problems going on in the world. So the fact that I'm here talking to you guys about a board game, and you guys even care to watch this, is extremely flattering, and I'm very humbled and grateful for that. So, wish I could have been talking about this game with a win, but hey, man, it's someone has to win or lose. Well, it's not completely true. You could draw, but there's going to be a lot of disappointment in chess, especially when you're playing good players. So, I'm somewhat used to it, but it still hurts. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Round 6 tomorrow, and I'll keep you updated as always. All right, bye, guys.